Hi everyone. Okay, so the channeled message I'm getting here has to do with the words serenity, creativity, and then I'm also getting this feeling of like whimsical mysticism, like fairies and gnomes and fairy dust and like not just sparkly fairy dust, but like powdered dust. Drugs? No, I'm just kidding. That was probably only funny to me. Anyway, so um I got okay, so like I'm just getting a bunch of different messages, like not messages, but it's the same message, but it's just coming through in a multitude of different ways, like in different storylines, right? And so what that's telling me already, first of all, and who am I connecting to right now, is it feels like the higher self in connection, like it's synchronistic with the message of the guardian angels and guides. And so it's basically saying, I don't know why I'm saying it, but like the message, so the message is basically saying to be courageous is a feeling of courageous to say, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know where this is about to lead me, but I'm going to follow my intuition. I'm going to follow the signs because it feels like you've gotten this great sign, right? Like this big sign where it feels like it really resonates. This is like, it really pulls it. I can feel it in my heart. Like, it's like, that's a sign. But then you stop yourself, like you're holding yourself back from pursuing it or following it because it feels like you're not ready. It feels like a big leap from where you currently are, or it just feels so intense. So it's like, well, let me just kind of stay back for a little bit, right? And then what they're showing me is I made up this story. I don't know. I don't know why I did this, but it's bringing up the story about gnomes and you know the little knobs on the trees. I think the real story about the gnomes is like that's what they are or something. But anyway, so my story is those are the stepping stools. Those are the ladders of the gnomes. And you know, like they're very, very shy. And so like you can see that's a ladder, but then they have fox squirrels. And the fox squirrels stay at the perimeters. That's why you always see the fox squirrel, because they're at the perimeters. They're the guards. And they watch after people to see if there's people. And they will tell the gnomes not to come out and, you know, climb the trees because they don't want to be seen. And so I'm just seeing, like, I see you engulfed in this mystical reality. Like it feels like you feel very fairy-like you are, you know, the gnomes, you know, the fairies, you are a fairy. Like it's this feeling like you, it's like me specifying between powder and dust is like, well, of course you would know because you're a fairy. And you're like, yes, there is very much a difference. Just like there's a difference between sugar and, you know, milled, even powdery sugar. There's a difference. And so I'm feeling like you're encouraged to really step into this. And then they bring up the word serenity, right? And with serenity, the reason why serenity is significant here for me, and I know it is because I have a card here that says serenity that I pulled for you. It says, value quiet days with only the rustling leaves breaking the silence. The rustling leaves is you staying still enough to let the gnomes feel safe around you again, right? They know they are, but you just become you're such a humanoid, you know? They're not really sure sometimes because you've kind of just been a little too busy with your day-to-day life. You know, they want to make sure that you aren't too officey for them anymore. So anyway, I got the card Serenity, but earlier today I was texting my friend and I was trying to type out serendipity, but I wrote Serenity for some reason, and I looked at it and I was like, that's a sign. Like I knew it was a sign for this reading, because I knew I was going to record today. It's Tuesday, so I'm going to post this tomorrow. But anyway, and I just felt it. Like I knew that that was part of this, and then now I have a card. So anyway, in serenity, now I'm even seeing the word siren, right? When you move it around, siren. And it just, I feel maybe you're writing a book, or you're very, or maybe there's something about creativity that really feels like you can incorporate those type of elements. It's okay. You know what they're telling me too? Okay, they're also showing me, sorry, I'm sitting on my knee. Okay, couple things. Okay, so then they're showing me it's just this explosion in my mind of it's literally like this garden party, like a garden party full of every mystical element, all the wild animals and wildflowers coming to life and celebrating. And there's this in-between stage, right? It's like, you know, okay, so let's say that there's, you know, okay, that's the big sign that you got, was that there was going to be this garden party that it's too much. Let me slow down. Here's the thing. Okay, let's just forget. Okay, Lord. It's already been 7 minutes. Okay, let's just get it. Let's just get over it and just say it. Okay. So, listen, there's something that you want, something that you believe in, and something that you've gotten the sign to go towards this, to pursue this, to move towards this. And it's a feeling of reservation that comes from you, of looking for smaller signs to almost like deviate from what it is that you see, that you even desire. It feels as if it's not necessarily you saying, oh, well, you know, I do want that, but am I ready for that? Or don't I have to prepare in these certain ways first? And it's also that feeling of, you know, what's the saying? Like, here's one saying where you don't be afraid of the thorns, or don't be afraid of hard work, or don't be afraid of this, that kind of thing. Well, it's not necessarily that you're afraid of it. It's almost like I'm afraid of who's watching or who isn't watching. I'm afraid of who is or who isn't going to, not necessarily validate, because I don't feel like it's a validation thing. It's just a presence. Like, I don't know who's really going to care, you know. And that's the whole purpose, is that I want to share this. Like, what if you go to the other side? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. The garden party, the sign is like, you have to cross this river to go to the garden party. You're like, oh, that's my dream come true. But what if I get there and no one's there? What if I get there and they don't like me? Like, all these questions, you know. It's not, I don't even think it's a like me. That's like a terrible example. It's more like, what if no one's actually there? But the process of you getting there is very important, because it's refining you. Because it feels like what you need to know, which you already know, so this is just validating this. So what you need to hear again, maybe from a third party, is what you've desired before that is now coming to fruition, that is saying, hey, go for it, pursue it now, right? Like, this is attainable now. Is your energy prior was not a match as it is now, currently, right? You can be realistic. You can look at what you have accomplished since the beginning of you dreaming this dream, and what you have learned since then, what you have changed about your lifestyle, or changed about your, like, that incorporates everything. So whatever has been adjusted since then, how does that affect you now, right? Or if it's some sort of project, or some sort of creative project, there's things you've learned in this process that has aligned you to, it's not even, I don't feel it's competing. It's like if you were to have this garden party, like, that's your dream, is to host these whimsical parties. And so you're the only one, you're one of a kind when it comes to this. No one else is a little fairy nymph, or whatever they're called. Maybe that's kinky. I don't know. Is a nymph kinky? Fairy nymph? Sorry if I kinkified you. Any hoodles. You're the only one that is that. So it's like, forget about it. Just let it go. Okay? This is what I'm looking. Favorable outcome, okay? That's it. Favorable outcome. But it's your choice. Is your favorable outcome is you deciding for yourself that I'm willing to take that step. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to have integrity, right? Which is being vulnerable. This is all about being vulnerable. It's being vulnerable with yourself. It's being vulnerable in the world. It's just fully allowing yourself. And I'm feeling my heart like literally going like you going like, I'm ready. Praise God. I'm ready. I'm gonna do it. And I trust that when I live from my heart, then I'm trusting myself, I'm trusting my intuition, I'm trusting my instincts, that it's the whole concept of not being attached to the outcome. It's saying, I'm living from my truth, I am living from my heart, and that I know that will not lead me astray. When I follow that, it will not lead me astray. It may not look exactly what I had pictured necessarily, but I know that I'm doing the right thing because I'm living from there. I'm living from a very authentic place with no room for me to have any regrets, because I will always lean back on how I was very kind to myself. I was very understanding of myself. I was very honest. I lived honestly, right? And so in doing so, you will see is what they're saying is, and they also incorporates your higher self. And they're saying, like, connect to your higher self, connect to your higher self, connect to your higher self. You know, when you go into meditation, connect to your higher self. And you will see, because you taking these smaller signs is also a way for spirit saying, okay, well, you're sending the message that you feel You need to slow down. You need to slow the pace, and that's okay. You're still moving towards the right direction, but you temper it as much as you need to temper it. This is your life. This is your journey. This is your decisions. We're not but you're not leading yourself away. You're just slowing down the path. You're slowing it down. And that's perfectly fine too, because you're still going to get there. It's just a matter of when you are ready to just release. And that's all it takes, is just to announce that and denounce any part of you that says, I'm gonna hold myself back because I have whatever kind of reservations for whatever reason. I'm ready. This is how I transform. This is how I become the best version of me, is by meeting the standard of which I am. It's like you are up here, but you feel, I just bubbled, but you don't feel, I don't want to say it like I don't think that you feel like low about yourself. I don't see that. It's more of just like I don't even know if it's nervous. It's like, it's a lot. I don't like the word overwhelming, but I guess it's overwhelming in the sense, like, I don't know, for any of you who have your own businesses, it's going from not knowing any way of starting a business to then thinking about, like, what is that gonna look like when I employ 100 people and I'm, covering the whole East Coast? Like, how, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I mean, you probably need more employees than that. I mean, it depends on your business, but anyway, there's a lot. It's a lot to deal with mentally, and they're not even telling you, like, your guides aren't even telling you to take one step at a time. They're just like, just do it. Okay, so you can worry about it when you're actually doing it. There's no like you don't have to temper yourself. You're going to be very surprised. Yeah, you're going to surprise yourself at how easy it is. And if this has to do with a person, right? Like, if this is you and another person, for example, it's like if you were holding your feelings back, and it's like, oh, I really, whatever, then you're gonna realize, like, once you do it, how easy it actually was, right? I think that's the biggest message is, follow those insights that you have, that major insight that you have. You can temper yourself if you want. That's your choice alone. You're still moving in the right direction regardless. But if you take that leap, you're going to surprise yourself. In the moment, you're going to surprise yourself at how simple it is for you to navigate. Like, it's very innate for you. Not just because that it fits your personality, but also because you've been doing this already on a small scale. You've already been working on these kinds of whatever is necessary for this, like, let's say it is a business, then it's like on let's say you're a florist, and so you've been gardening all the time. You already know how to do it. You've been teaching, the neighborhood kids all about plants, so it's like it's very easy for you to do. It's just go do it. Just go do it. But there's another thing though, and they're kind of showing me, they're showing me two stories that they want me to point out, where they're saying like, it doesn't matter who's listening. That's one thing, is like, it doesn't matter who's listening. It doesn't matter who's paying attention. It doesn't matter about all of these things, because vibrationally it is resonating to people. Like, what you do makes a difference. What you think makes a difference. How you feel makes a difference. It does not matter in reality how that looks for you. And then serendipitously, you know, maybe something will happen for you, as far as like, you know, if you want to look at this in terms of a business, people coming to you, or it's going to be that you have the skill. You're going to develop the skill, or the know-how to use the skills that you've already developed to bring these people in, right? Or if it's about a connection, then it's saying it doesn't matter if how this person is going to react, if they're going to listen to you, if they're going to respond to you, if they're going to get your message, right? It matters that how you live, where you come from, right? And that is so important, right? When we look at the world in terms of what it really is, right? We're spiritual beings. And so when we are of spirit and we're existing more as spirit, rather than coming from this kind of human way in terms of like survival, right? In terms of, you know, just human nature, then that is making all the difference. And that also is the whole, you know, everything, oh, this is just a projection of whatever, this and that. Okay, so then alchemize, change, transform, send out those vibrations in the way that you exist, the way that you, they're showing like someone breathing out. That's all I want to say, is like, when you breathe out, like, there's air, there is stuff that, you know. Okay, anyway, moving on. The other thing is they're showing like someone writing a book, right? And it's like you see the perfect spot to write this book, but you're afraid to go there. Because in order to get there, again, it's all these small things that you're concerned about. Oh, well, I have to go to, I have to go out into the city, and then I have to go this, I have to do that, I have to do that. And I don't want to be around people. And then in the process of getting to this spot, not only do you discover so many little storylines that actually propel you to incorporate these characters into your book, but you get to the place and you have that moment of serenity. You have that place where you can value those quiet days. You have that spot where everything comes alive for you. And you realize, again, is just getting past your mind, and that's I think what I'm really trying to say, in your mind, those things don't really matter. They don't matter. That's the human construct, whatever it is in your mind that you're creating or have created based off of past experience that is, you know, orchestrated you to interpret that as an obstacle, when it is not an obstacle. It is only an obstacle if you perceive it in that way, right? So take a different perspective. It's like looking at the world from you know, it's like a different dimension. You have to look at in instead of a 2D and a 3D, or a 3D then a 4D. A 4D, you get it? Like, you have to look at it as a different perspective, a different angle. Okay? Okay. Anyway, that's it. I'm sweaty. Bye.